So after we were done with Metastasis and we were doing the tours, we started writing bits and pieces of what the next offering from Bhayanak Maut was going to be.
Genosis, the word, the mixture of, it's a portmanteau. It's a portmanteau of two words, Genesis and genocide. The story is about this man who wants to recreate Eden and the story of Genesis. He's fascinated by God's revenge on mankind and retribution and everything that happened in the garden. So he's looking for the Garden of Eden. He's looking for Adam and Eve.
Genosis started off as an alternate picking exercise. I was practicing through the day, and the song kind of came from there. It started off, the first riff of Genosis is that. That first riff was so catchy in my head that I could see this entire song in its entirety, so to say.
I think Venky had bought in Genosis at a point very early in the album writing process. I think it was the third song that we had, and in fact I remember playing that song 4 bass guitarist years ago with Vinay.
With Genesis, what really comes out is this vibe that Aditya brings to the band, which is his legato technique. So it's there throughout the album, but this is that second riff. Really, I mean, it took me a while to get that. You know, I never really played legato so fast before, and then I had to get that technique down. But I mean, it brings a really nice effect. So he does that. This song is that for me, the legato song.
I'll talk about the song as max volume, and I will tell you why and how it became Genosis much later, but up until then it was max volume for me all along. In fact, how and when we wrote the song also is quite interesting. I had gone to do my masters in Scotland and I was out of the country for a year, but max volume was the first song I wrote after I came back from Scotland with Aditya, and I think within a week of coming back from Scotland, like, I was really driven, happy to be back home, just wanted to start this all over again, and like, I was really confused. I didn't know what I was going to do in life, but anyway, I wanted to write with BM, and that was great. That happened.
So we sat together, and this was the first song that Aditya and I wrote together. You know, because till then we are just sharing riffs and sharing complete songs. Till then it was not a process where we sat together and said, and then we eliminated or added or did that sort of thing. And this song was a revelation for me as well, like sitting with another guitarist, learning how a song can be structured.
And I remember that it used to be very different, and I had a couple of parts which were not going anywhere in the context of me writing a song. But I remember Baba coming to jam and showing me this song, and I remember that I had these parts. I told him, okay, you know what, give me these riffs, I'll go home, figure something out, and those riffs kind of fit in exactly into the song.
So Genesis, I think, is a good example of a song where you can hear both creative influences of both the guitarists. So you can, the chorus riff and the first riff, I think, feels like a Baba riff, feel like Baba riffs, and all the legato sections feel like Aditya. So you can sort of hear the baby of Baba and Aditya in that track. I always imagine that.
The theme of the song was the chorus, which is an odd-timed, very simple chord structure and chord progression. But because it's odd-timed and it's in that 3, in multiples of 3, it was something that I'd never written or heard. So I'll just play the theme. So the whole song is kind of anchored on that chorus riff.
I just wanted the chorus, the vocals to sound just big, and I remember this one time at Raz, I think about 8-9 years ago, I had gone to watch a BM show. I wasn't part of the band then. And I remember Vinay telling the sound guy that just give me some more reverb. I want to sound like God. And that is so that part, the chorus, it required the voice of God to sound like the voice of God. So Vinay's section, the second time it repeats, I think I really wanted it to sound like it is God's voice. And with what Vinay's done, it sounds exactly like how I envisioned it to sound like.
There's a part where Ishaan has come in and played some textures over a part which plays only once in the song, doesn't repeat any more times.
It was like we had a riff, we had a section where there's a riff and the bass was just doubling it. And we tried to put something on top with the bass and it wasn't working. And we felt like we could really add something to the soundscapes. So we just plugged in the Fender, and next thing you know, there's a Fender Strat on the Bhayanak Maut album, which is not, I think, normal.
And I really like that song because what Ishaan has done on that part completely takes away from everything else that I would focus on and adds a completely new dimension and sound to it. So it's always great to have someone who knows his music and chords in the band.
It's kind of a spastic song. I think Rahul's really killing it on Genosis. He's lot of not tempo changes, but he's a lot of frantic parts, lot of throwdowns, some nice grooves. But Rahul's the star on this song, in my opinion. Some nice crust punk, fast drum beat, followed by a straight up groove, going back to the chorus, which is it's something that will stick in your head.
It was a fun song, and then we kind of shelved it for a while. We had written the song, the structure was there, but we stopped paying attention to it. We shelved it for a while. We started working on all the other songs and all that.
Even though Aditya and I wrote the song together and we had almost finalized the structure of the song, the minute we got it into the studio, there was something kind of missing.
And it was just dormant for the longest time. We would just jam the song in the studio and make changes to the song. It was just there for the longest time, to a point where when I got sick of the song.
And then when we hit the studio, when we came in here, we were doing this thing about multiples of 9 with all the tempos of the song. And we wanted to ensure all our songs were in multiples of 9, and 140 wasn't a multiple of 9. So out of our options were either we take it slower or we take it faster. We tried slower, it didn't work, but I knew all along maybe this has to be faster. So we added 4 BPM to it, just 4 BPM. Makes a big difference, and it made the colossal difference.
None of us could have thought of that. It was just that one simple change that made the song from slightly a downer, so to say, a depressing song to a more aggressive song. So that change, I think, really helped us see the song in a completely different light.
I really liked how that song evolved from Max Volume, which was a song, to Genosis, which is an awesome song. Like, I really love how things panned out with Genosis.
And the fact that it's a really old BM song that's started off with something which we liked it in bits, and then it's grown into this monster. It's beautiful. It's such a fantastic track to have in the first 10 minutes of your album. It's just, this is like a powerhouse. I love this song. I absolutely love this song.
I Will Call You Eden. And yeah, Genesis, as far as I know, had 2 working titles. I Will Call You Eden and Max Volume.
And Max as in Goan Max. Like people from Goa, Macapao, Max.
Why Max Volume? Because I was at Vinay's place. We were just chilling, and there was a massive fight between 2 Mac uncles, which we were kind of observing from the balcony. And it was so loud that there was nothing else to say but, shit, these guys are shouting at their max volume.
The initial title of the song was I Will Call You Eden, which was a poor song title in my opinion. And yeah, that got changed to Genosis.
I did not even know what the story was, but it was, the name itself was so evocative. And then when you get into the story, I Will Call You Eden has a completely different meaning. But I don't know why he did not stick to that name, but then he came up with Genosis. and the entire thing about the Bible that this guy has written, the serial killer / protagonist in the story. And Genosis again gave that much weight to the song.
Like for Genesis, I am just so happy that they allowed me to record my dad's voice. Yeah, that's it.